I'm going to talk to you about some of the elements of our Makerspace implementation that we have designed with reception in mind. Our goal was to combat problems we might face in the way these makerspaces are perceived at different levels. The first challenge we foresaw was in reaching the variety of different teacher types that exist in the schools we are choosing to implement in. Pullen and Pomfret identified role relationship changes and classroom structural changes as the changes that encounter the most difficulties. This is a problem because with Makerspace and constructivist theory, teachers need to take on a different role than that of the traditional teacher. They would also need to understand more than just their own isolated part of the curriculum, and would be required to be adept at assessing, in constructivist ways, a variety of cross-curricular outcomes. We have designed a number of elements into our implementation to deal with this. The first we borrowed from Wolf, Hill, and Evers when we decided to spend time incorporating the interests and abilities of the educators into our makerspaces. It will be important to purchase tech that the teachers that are running the lab are most interested in or have a specialization in. For example, I know that e-textiles would be challenging for this age group because I have tried to take on sewing projects with my Girl Guides who are in grades 4 to 6. They always struggle with the basic sewing concepts, such as threading a needle and knotting the ends. It would be silly with all of the opportunities that makerspaces provide to start the labs off with e-textiles unless one of the teachers in charge has a particular interest in sewing or wearable tech. However, if they're anything like me, this would be the perfect technology to include because I have expertise that would help the students find success when they meet challenges. Other teachers may be more comfortable with coding, while others still might prefer robotics. The students will experience more successes if they can feed off of the passions of those that are teaching them. Altrichter also identifies teachers as a key factor affecting reception to implementation. We understand we may face resistance from teachers that are not familiar with technology and do not adapt well to technological change. Taking his advice, we plan to ask them to participate in incorporating their expertise into lessons and activities so that they are invested in and can relate to the implementation, even if they do not feel confident using the tools yet. Then we will make sure that they have all of the support that they require. We will create mixed teams with teachers and administration that are technologically comfortable and those that are not. Creating teams across schools and giving them school time to meet and bounce ideas off of each other, and create a unified plan for their grade level, despite subject matter, will help them invest in using the makerspace. Creating teams across schools will also ensure that schools that have a greater number of technologically confident teachers won't have too much of an advantage over those that do not. We know that staff development, including peer feedback and communication, must continue throughout the implementation, not just at the beginning. Next, makerspaces consume a lot of time and money getting up and running. This means that we need a lot of support if we are going to implement 3 makerspaces to begin with, and especially as we have a plan for future growth. To do this, we are taking Altrichter's advice. We will stress the benefits of makerspaces, such as their ability to get more girls interested in STEM subjects, and we will enhance formal and communicative quality with teacher information booklets. We plan to introduce colorful booklets that break the concept of our makerspaces down and explain how our board plans to use them, with a page introducing makerspaces, a page highlighting the benefits of them, pages with sample activities for students like the cat and hole one that Adrian used in his video, and pages with resources where cool projects can be found that relate to curriculum outcomes. I mentioned earlier that we plan to get administration involved in our groups and panels, but we will be reaching out to the community to build support by introducing our makerspaces as free spaces or clubs at the beginning, while we are training teachers with the tools. Altrichter believes parents may be one of the most powerful leverages to better implementation, and we want to open our makerspaces to parents and their students by having family nights or classes so that parents can better understand the technologies and practices in our makerspaces. In these ways, we hope to create investment in the value of our makerspaces and the educational practices that are used in them. We realize that there are many more aspects of implementation that have not been covered here, but the idea of a makerspace is a fairly new concept and creates huge educational changes if used in schools. Therefore, we felt that building support and networks for the teachers that will be impacted by these changes were the most critical issues at this stage.